Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Tournament Takes. This is the final look for the Week 14 slate. Kind of wanted to break down where I'm at on this slate, show you guys what the build I'm probably going to do looks like. So let's get right into it. There's another video. If you guys like this information, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. There's a link in the comments down below to my Twitter handle. If I do make any changes after that, I will post it on there. And then be sure to check out my other video if you guys have time before tomorrow's slate. It's about 1 a.m. here on the West Coast, about 4 a.m. on the East Coast. Kind of finally just got done breaking down everything, and instead of going game by game, I kind of wanted to show you guys the build that I'm going to be doing this week. So first off, let me just check to see if I haven't done it already. Okay. Okay, like I said in my last video, there's a lot of opportunity cost on this slate, and I apologize for the video. It's a little dark here. I don't have all my lights up, so I apologize for the quality in advance. Let me see if I can just adjust this a little bit. One second. Whoops. There we go. Okay. All right. So on this slate, we do have a lot of players at the top, a lot of quarterbacks at the top. But after doing quite a bit of research, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Tennessee and Jacksonville did play each other in week two. Tannehill actually put up a really good game. He had 4 touchdowns in that game in week two. Now, I don't expect this to go exactly the same way, but like I said, both the defenses are kind of beat up on both sides. Gardner Minshew actually played that game. He put up 28 fantasy points. He was a pretty good play that week. Um, so I'll show you guys that real quick. Gardner Minshew did practice this week, so it's kind of scary playing Mike Glennon this week because there's always a possibility, if he doesn't do well, that Gardner Minshew can come in and kind of take over. He is going to be the backup in week 13, so that's one of the concerns I have. But for the purposes of this video, this is kind of where I'm at this point, guys. I am going to be playing, like I said in my last video, I did like Mike Lennon, and he kind of opens up quite a bit of salary, and there is, significant amount of opportunity cost that you guys are giving up by playing, one of the cheaper quarterbacks this week. But I feel like, if you're paying up for the quarterbacks this week and you're not playing a cheap quarterback, you're probably sacrificing a lot at the skill positions, and there's plenty of skill positions plays this week. That's kind of why I'm going with Mike Lennon. I told you guys before, I do like Aaron Jones. He's going to be in my lineup. He's actually, from what I'm seeing from all the shows and ownership and stuff like that I'm seeing, I feel like Devontae Adams is probably going to be the chalk play of the week. So, my pivot on that is to take Aaron Jones. I already liked him in this game in general. So, with the matchup against Detroit, I feel like he's the one of the ones that I want to get in my lineup first. Another play that I really like is David Montgomery, someone who I'm kind of going to jam into my lineup. Like I said, he is getting the goal line work. Both of these backs are getting goal line works and they're getting enough touches. Aaron Jones is only getting 13 to 14 touches a game. But, last week he had 15 or 18 touches. He had 18 touches, 14 against Indy. But in the good matchups, like let's see. Against Detroit last time out, he had 22 touches. Now, granted that Devontae Adams was out that game, he just gassed them for 9 yards to carry, and I don't see them, stopping Aaron Jones. I don't know if they'll need to throw it to Devontae Adams as much. They could definitely, you could see a first half where they do definitely roll, and Devontae Adams gets a couple touchdowns. So I will also have him in probably the same lineup that I'm playing Aaron Jones to kind of get a little more contrarian. I feel like they can both get there in this kind of matchup, right? They can both smash that price tag. With Mike Lennon, I really want to play Keelan Cole. Now, I looked at the matchups. Keelan Cole seems to have one of the better matchups on the slate. I wasn't on it earlier. He only got 2 targets last week, but overall this week overall this season he's played pretty well. He had a good game against Detroit. Anytime the matchup is good, he seems to do pretty well. Against Tennessee, he did put up 17 fantasy points. Even though that was Gardner Minshew there, they are throwing. Tennessee is giving up the deep ball quite a bit, and another player that I like from this team is also Colin Johnson. He's also getting some of the deep balls as well. So it's either him or Keelan Cole. I probably might play the same lineup with just those two different receivers. It's going to come down to actually just picking the right one. DJ Shark's also in a good spot, but I feel like he's going to get the better of the coverage from Tennessee. So I want the receiver who's going to have kind of the weaker matchup, And Tennessee also does tend to play a lot of zone. Sorry, Tennessee does tend to play a lot of man coverage. Let me just make sure that I'm giving you that right info. Jacksonville. Yeah, so right now it's showing Colin Johnson as a starter. I don't know if that's going to hold. He is pretty fast, but I think Keelan Cole is probably one of the fastest receivers on their team, aside from DJ Chark. So yeah, they're playing zone 55% of the time. Tennessee is. So in a zone defense right now, DJ Chark is actually he has an 84 rating. Colin Johnson has a 94. Laviska Shenault has a 130, which is actually really big. But the guy who's actually been getting the most routes per the zone coverage is Keelan Cole. So those short underneath routes, maybe those wide open plays in the middle of the field. His rating is a 114.80. So he did well the first matchup. Not necessarily that he has to, but you have to kind of take some kind of disgusting plays in order to kind of get the build that you want to. And like I said earlier in the last video, this is a 52 point over under. So it is a high scoring game. So I do expect if Jacksonville is behind, they are going to be throwing the ball quite a bit. I do like bringing it back with Corey Davis. I know I said I did like Derrick Henry, but again, he's pretty expensive at 8,700, and the backs that are on the slate this week, I feel like they have a good chance of putting up the same kind of ceiling that he has. So I'm not going to him in this spot, but I do like Corey Davis, and the reason for that is Tennessee, sorry, Jacksonville. They've been pretty good against the pass overall, but they have a lot of their their defense a little banged up, right? So I do like I do like the matchup for him. I'm trying to find him here on this chart. Give me one moment. There we go. So AJ Brown and Corey Davis both have excellent matchups. AJ Brown is a little faster than Corey Davis, but Corey Davis has been consistent when they're both on the field. They do both tend. Corey Davis tends to be out targeting AJ Brown at a pretty significant rate. Against Jacksonville, he only had 12 points, but I expect that in that game, I don't think AJ Brown was in. Let me just take a quick peek. So week two, AJ Brown missed that game. So I expect AJ Brown to kind of draw the tougher coverage here, and that to open up some holes for Corey Davis. They also play 42% man to man, and I feel like Corey Davis has the better matchup here in the man to man coverage, and he can kind of get behind this Jacksonville defense here. So I really like Corey Davis. He is one of the guys on quite a few sites that they project to have one of the better matchups. So I really want to take advantage of that. So I kind of like playing that. Now, in this spot here for the last wide receiver position, a lot of people are playing Devontae Adams. I don't mind playing him in the same lineup as Aaron Jones. I feel like they can both get there. But as of right now, for the first build, I kind of want to go with DK Metcalf. He can get behind this Jets secondary. He can torch them. He's probably one of the faster receivers in the league, one of the fastest receivers in the league, and one of the biggest and the strongest. So I really don't think the Jets can stop him at all. And the Jets are giving up the deep ball at a pretty significant rate. So the one knock on him again is that he's not getting the amount of targets that Devontae Adams is getting, but he can easily rack up that 100-yard bonus just on those deep plays, like maybe 2 or 3 deep plays alone. So I really like getting him into my lineup. Now, you could also, like I said in the last video, you could also play maybe a 5,100 Sam Darnold here. And, we don't know if Jamison Crowder is in yet. But if you wanted to, you could probably play a Sam Darnold with like a Jamison Crowder. Mims is out this week. So you could play, Sam Darnold with Jamison Crowder or Brashad Perriman, even Braxton Berrios. I assume these guys will be not chalky, but a lot of people will go to them for salary relief. The way it's setting up on this slate, if you're paying up, like if you look at if you're paying up at quarterback, let's say hypothetically you want to get someone like a Mahomes in your lineup, and you want to play, let's say, Devonte Adams, you're really going to be paying down at quarterback at running back. So I'll kind of show you that build really quick. So for the purposes of this, let's just finish this one out. DK Metcalf, I like the Mike Glennon. At tight end, I do want someone to run it back with David Montgomery, and I do like Akins. Let's look at this really quick. Chicago Bears. So if we look at the Chicago Bears, we see that, oops, we see that against the Lions last week, the Lions, TJ Hawkinson went for 7 and 84, right? If we go back to the game before that against the Packers, we see that the Packers, Tanyan went for 5 for 67 and a touchdown. If we go back to the Vikings, right, you got Kyle Rudolph 4 for 63, right? One more game behind that, let's go to the Titans. Jonnu Smith 2 for 32 and a touchdown. The Bears haven't been able to stop the tight end position. Okay, so since I am playing David Montgomery, I really do want to play Akins in this spot. I feel like this is a good match for him. It helps also that Will Fuller's not there. They're running more two tight end sets, so he's getting about 20% of the end zone targets. He's someone that I really want to run it back with David Montgomery. Now you have a couple different options that you can do in the flex. If I wanted to, I could still try to. I don't know if I could jam in Devonte Adams. I don't think that would work. Now, if I wanted to, I could, go up from DK Metcalf here. If you guys do remember in my last video, I also said I do like Allen Robinson. This is a good matchup for Allen Robinson. He can get behind this secondary here, and Mitchell Trubisky can get him the ball against Houston. We saw a couple teams have destroyed Houston in the passing department, and again they don't have any Bradley Roby. This should kind of be a cake matchup for him. Also, the fact that Mooney hasn't been there all week, he hasn't practiced. Maybe just a chemistry, certain routes, certain plays that they have had are kind of geared up to Allen Robinson and David Johnson. So I don't mind playing him right here and then stacking the Packers defense with Aaron Jones. So this is kind of one of the lineups I'm going to kind of do. I'm going to build that and assign that one lineup. Another thing you can do if you are playing, let me just import it from that really quick. If you are playing someone like a Mike Glennon, oops. So if I'm playing Mike Glennon, I can also decide, okay, if I don't want to get off the Devonte Adams chalk, I don't mind playing, like you saw the last lineup, I played David Montgomery and Allen Robinson in. I don't mind, playing Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. So you could also do something like this. Mitchell Trubisky, let's play Metcalf. Then you can play Allen Robinson. And instead of playing the Packers defense, you play a one-off in Washington. Like I said, I do like Washington a lot. They do get quite a bit of pressure on the quarterback. So this is not another stack that I might consider playing, which is something that I think you could do. Another thing with this same lineup, I'll kind of show you if you really do want to play Devonte Adams. Like I said in my last video, the cover guy was Zeke. Now Zeke, I'm a little more hesitant about now because I've noticed that they have some injuries on their offensive line. I still am going to take a shot on him. I still believe that he could have a really, really big week. But that's just something to keep in mind. He's not going to be in 100% of my lineups like I thought he would earlier in the day. So if I do want to play I want to kind of force in Devonte Adams and play Aaron Jones, I can go back down to Mike Glennon, and I can play Zeke in this lineup, and I can play the defense with what do you call it, with the Cowboys. So I can play the Cowboys defense. So this is kind of another build that you guys can do. I'm going to be doing something like this, probably in one of my lineups with Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones both in there, with Mike Glennon. I don't think I can really upgrade 5,300. No, it doesn't really give me anyone to upgrade to. So I like that. I like the Trubisky build that I showed you guys. This one right here with Trubisky, Jones, Montgomery. Taking two of the pass catchers. I'm taking Montgomery and Robinson. I'm running it back with Akins. I got a 1v1 with Corey Davis and Keelan Cole, and I kind of have a one-off with Metcalf. So the idea for this lineup, the reason for playing Metcalf, is it kind of still gives me that ceiling to that explosion type game, that 50, 60 point, not 50, 60, but say 30 to 40 point game without having to pay up for Aaron Jones, and then still playing Aaron Jones as a leverage play off of the people who are playing Aaron Rodgers and playing Devontae Adams. So that's kind of the build that I'm taking this week, guys. I'm kind of playing some cheaper quarterbacks. It's plenty of opportunity cost, but I think there's plenty more opportunity cost at the other positions. I also did mention that I do like, in the last video, I'll kind of show you guys a build with the other two running backs that I liked. I do like Swift also. He is going to go. So I don't think I'm getting to Devontae Adams. I mean, I'm getting to Aaron Rodgers, so I'm not really playing Swift, but I really think he's in a good spot. So if you guys are playing Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, I think Swift is a good guy to run it back with, along with TJ Hawkinson. A potential full game stack. I looked at the over-under. It's a 55 over-under in that game. So I think it's a really, really good spot to kind of game stack the entire game. I do like I said, I told you guys I do like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I do like Mike Gesicki, right? Kansas City hasn't been good against tight end, and Miami hasn't been good against the run. I also kind of told you guys I like Ronald Jones as a one-off in this situation. Now you could decide to run it back if you really wanted to with Kirk Cousin and Jefferson. The thing is that Tampa Bay plays more of a zone defense, and what we saw last time when they were playing Kansas City, you had Kelsey who could kill them in the zone down below, and then you had Tyreek Hill who could burn them in the back end. So it's kind of similar with the Adam Thielen and the Justin Jefferson, but not to the same extent. So they're out their tight end. So it's not like they have a ton of options that they can actually, obviously Minnesota is not as powerful as Kansas City as far as offensive firepower, right? Like just in terms of how fast their receivers are. So you could say, okay, if I do want Kirk Cousins, maybe I want Jefferson as a running back, and you can still kind of do the Corey Davis thing in one of the lineups. You can plug in potentially maybe a Devontae. I don't know if you can actually get Devontae Adams in this build, but you could do a build like this, potentially play even an Aaron Jones if you're still playing the leverage play off of that, and the Keelan Cole in this spot, right, as the run back with Corey Davis, and again go down and play Washington defense, right? So this is another kind of route you can take. You can also do, if you don't want to do Aaron Jones, you could also play instead of Keelan Cole, you can play maybe a Tyler Boyd here and play Corey Davis as a one-off, and play Elliott, right, along with your Tyler Boyd stacks, right? So there's plenty of different ways to go, guys. I'm going to show you one last build, which I think most people are going to be kind of going to this week. Most people are going to be trying to pay up for Aaron Rodgers. I think I think people are kind of apt to the fact that Mahomes, it's not the best spot for Mahomes, so I think people are going to kind of try to take the $500 salary and pay up for Adams. People are going to be playing Aaron Rodgers, Adams. People are going to go to the cheap tier running backs. Now, I told you guys before, I think Austin Eckler is a trap. I still think that holds true. I don't think this is someone you're going to want to play. But what people are going to do is they're going to try to get J.D. McKissic in their lineup against San Francisco. Because of his receiving, right? He can get the certain targets. I just don't like J.D. McKissic. I don't think this is a good spot for him, but people are going to play J.D. McKissic. I'm personally not going there. I feel like the other running backs at that 6,600 range have that 30-point ceiling upside. You don't need 30 points out of McKissick. You only need 10 to 15 points. 15 points kind of gets you, and you're just hoping your other receivers kind of go off for those big games. So they might play J.D. McKissick. They might play like a Giovanni Bernard as well because he is cheap value, right? He is going against Dallas, so you're probably going to get cheap there. So they are going to play Devontae Adams. They're going to play someone like a $6,200 either Robbie Anderson because they're a little beat up. Denver's a little beat up without AJ Bouye in the back in the cornerback department or in the on the defense. So they might be playing someone like that, or they might be going a double stack with Tanyan as well, right? And they'll try to bring it back with Marvin Jones or Hawkinson or something like that, right? But this is kind of what people are going to be looking to do. They're going to have 4,000 left. They're going to try to jam in maybe like a Corey Davis into their lineups. I think Corey Davis will be one of the higher owned receivers, and I think it's actually a pretty good spot for him. And then as far as like their flex goes, if they're playing Devontae Adams and Marvin Jones, they might go with $4,000. Let's see, look. So like a $4,000 flex, people are going to go to, with the Jets being banged up, they might be playing someone like Brashad Perriman or a Braxton Berrios. So you might see them even play two of these guys. Maybe Brashad Perriman and Braxton Berrios. Or if Crowder goes, you might see them try to go to Crowder, but they'll be trying to play Brashad Perriman, and then they'll try to see if they can find a way to get their try to get the best defense, which is the Saints going against Philly, right? They're about $100 short, and I think this is kind of what I've heard across the board. Is people are kind of $100 short of these sort of bills. So maybe at wide receiver, maybe they don't go Corey Davis, maybe they go Antonio Brown, right? Because they want exposure to that high end game. So I think you'll see a lot more bills like this week, and it's not a bad way to go because you're getting value at the running back positions. You're paying up for consistent receivers, and you're getting the best defense. So it's not a bad way to go. But for me, I'm kind of not on there. I don't really think you're going to have people try to play Henry. If Henry is highly owned, you'll probably see something like this with Henry, Devontae Adams. You're going to get Aaron Rodgers. They'll try to plug in McKissick, right, for the cheap value. They'll try to get Gio Bernard. They'll try to see, okay, in the I want Washington defense because I am playing McKissick, right? They'll probably try to correlate their Washington defense with their running back. With Giovanni Bernard on the Dallas side, since Dallas is pretty good against Cincinnati, they'll try to take someone like a Michael Gallup at 3,800, especially after that big game that he had on Thursday Night Football against Baltimore. I think they're going to go right back to him in this spot. At the second wide receiver, they may be trying to go to Corey Davis. I don't know if they'll be able to actually get there, but it's Corey Davis and 2,300 left for a tight end. They're not going to be able to do that. So maybe Michael Gallup, and then who else they like from here, right? Chark. Does Chark fit as a run back with Henry? So you might have someone like that, Chark as a run back with Henry, and then a tight end. Maybe they'll go with who can you play at 2,700? Maybe Blake Bell, Richard Rodgers, maybe a Mercedes Lewis. I don't really know. Maybe they won't even go Chark. Maybe they'll go Keelan Cole, right? I don't know how owned Keelan Cole will be. I know KJ Hamler is also pretty low owned. So maybe they go with like a cheap KJ Hamler here. And, since they are having this Adams Rodgers stack, they'll try to get it back, run it back with Hawkinson, right? So these are kind of bills, guys, that I expect to see in tournaments this week. I expect to see Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams run back with Hawkinson. You'll probably see a one-off Hamler. You'll see some McKissick line stack with the defense, Henry as a one-off, and Gio. So these are this is kind of the build that I'm anticipating people to kind of take this week to pay up at the running back. But the problem for me with this build is if Henry busts, it kind of really, really affects the rest of your line. KJ Hamler's a good value, Gallup's a good value, but there's plenty of value in that's kind of why I think Devontae Adams is going to be really highly owned, and it's also reason may be why personally I think that Corey Davis might be a little under owned is because no one's really going to get to this 5,700 range unless you're paying up at running back, right? So, good luck this week, guys. That's kind of going to do it. It's quick 20-25 minute video. If I have any updates, I'll post it on my Twitter, but this is the kind of build I'm going with. This is kind of my number one build right now. It's going to be Mike Glennon. Very quickly, I'll kind of tell you guys if I am paying up for quarterback, it's going to be Rodgers on this slate, potentially Brady. I'll also tell you guys that with Brady, if I'm playing Ronald Jones, I kind of want to stack the Buccaneers defense because this could be a game also where you could see Kirk Cousins struggle a little. They are taking quite a bit of sacks. So yeah, and Tampa Bay is good at bringing pressure. So this could be a spot where if Ronald Jones does go off, maybe I want to stack him with the defense. So something to kind of keep an eye on. But Brady's in a good spot. Rodgers is in a good spot, I think. Watson to a lesser extent. I really like Russell Wilson, but the weather in that game concerns me a little bit. That's kind of why it's supposed to be raining. That's kind of why I'm a little concerned with playing Metcalf. But I think overall, I'm not really going to let it bother me or get me down too much. At running back, I kind of told you guys the plays. I'll reiterate them again. I really like Aaron Jones, Montgomery. Aaron Jones may be highly owned. I think Devontae Adams will also be highly owned. I think entire Green Bay team will be owned. So yeah, I'm not really too worried about that. It kind of is what it is. I think DK Metcalf is going to go way under owned. I think he might be, at a few percent, but I really like Aaron Jones at running back. I like David Montgomery. I like Ezekiel Elliott. Um, DeAndre Swift to a lesser extent. I don't think I'm going to get there, but I really think it's a fantastic spot for him. But if I'm paying that price, I'm rather paying 6,600 for Elliott. But I'm really making Montgomery and Jones a priority, and Elliott, and then I do like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But I am going to be playing, if I do play Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm also going to be probably playing him in a lineup with Ronald Jones because that's going to be more of a tournament lineup because of the fact that it's not going to be so chalky I guess, at running back because both these Aaron Jones and Montgomery I expect to carry some ownership. With Ronald Jones, I don't think he'll carry any ownership. Same with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So both of those I'll probably play together with potentially with the Buccaneers defense and a Mike Gesicki in the lineup. At wide receiver, I do like Devontae Adams a lot. I will probably get him in one of the three lineups if I can, but I am really going to Metcalf as a pivot from this. In this lineup, also, if you wanted to, you could also another receiver I think that could be a really good play. It's going to go kind of under owned is Keenan Allen. You still could play the Dallas defense with that, with a Keenan Allen type, in this lineup. So I think he's in a good spot. But overall, for me, it's going to be either if I'm paying up, it's going to be Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf. Middle range, I like Corey Davis in that 5 to 6,000 range. Marvin Jones is decent, not really getting there this week. Crowder, if he plays, I'll see. DJ Chark, I haven't really got to as of yet if I want to get there. Other than that, I do like the Cincinnati guys. If I'm playing Ezekiel Elliott, I might try to get Tyler Boyd in my lineup or T. Higgins. I'm not really on Hamler or any of those, 3,000 guys, the cheaper 3,000 guys. So I do like Metcalf, Devontae Adams. I do like Corey Davis. I do like some of the Cincinnati receivers, and I like the Jacksonville receivers too, like Keelan Cole and DJ Chark, and that other guy, whatever his name is, Johnson, right? Whatever, not Conley, Colin Johnson. Aside from that, at tight end, I do like Jordan Akins quite a bit. I think he's going to be the number one play for me. He's too cheap for 2,900. I don't mind Mike Gesicki. And I really like Hawkinson. I don't know if I'll be able to get to Hawkinson because he's kind of expensive. I think it's a good spot, but like I showed you guys with the video, Chicago is just not able to defend the tight end position. So I probably think in this week I might go 100% Jordan Akins. And because he burned a lot of people last week, and because the slate is so deep, you might have many people play for Kelsey, you might have people play for Waller, but I expect Hawkinson probably to be the number one owned tight end because a lot of people are going to be playing Devontae Adams, and it's just the reasonable and the most easiest bring back. And then as far as defense goes, guys, I do like the Saints, but I also like the Packers. I also like the Buccaneers, and I like Washington. I don't really like Cowboys as much against Cincy, but Cincy doesn't have their guard, so it could be a good spot. But For me, number one is probably Washington. Number two is probably the Packers. Number three is the Buccaneers, and number four probably the Cowboys. And I think the Cowboys will be fairly chalky as well. All right, what guys, that pretty much breaks it down. Good luck this week, and hopefully I'll see you guys back here to get my roses or take my L's for the Week 14 slate. Good luck, guys. Talk to you soon.